In the days before the official military enlistment, two big names from the South Korean entertainment industry, BTS's Jin and Astro's Cha Eun-woo, took the public by storm with their latest posts that instantly became national and international highlights. Without warning, the two figures known for their dedication and near-perfect image released posts that were both loaded with meaning, ambiguous, and emotionally hit millions of fans. The question is now, what is the real meaning of the upload? Is it just a farewell speech, or is there a hidden message that has not been read by the public? Jin, the oldest member of BTS who is known for his straightforward personality but harbors layers of complex emotions, uploaded a black and white portrait of himself wearing full military uniform. No long description, just one short sentence. "This is not the end. Don't forget about me." In the context of a global superstar who has suspended his career in favor of state duty, the sentence feels like tremendous emotional pressure. He not only said goodbye, but as if he was asking the public to prepare their hearts for something bigger than just his temporary departure. Not long after, Cha Eun-woo, who in addition to idols has also transformed into a top actor with a transcontinental fan base, chose a more visual path. He posted a short video with a background of dusk in Busan port, accompanied only by minimalist piano music. At the end of the video, he turned to the camera and uttered a phrase that left fans speechless. "If this is the last, I want to be remembered in peace." No additional captions. No explanation. Only silence hung behind Eun-woo's calm expression. The public, especially their fans, reacted immediately. Some called it an elegant yet painful farewell message, while others began to speculate why did they choose such a deeply personal, ambiguous, and even gloomy approach. Not a few also question whether this is a form of disappointment with the pressure of the industry, or simply a very careful communication strategy to maintain existence while they live in a vacuum. In the tradition of the K-pop industry, idols generally say goodbye with a sweet, positive, and hopeful message. But Jin and Cha Eun-woo chose a different path. They broke the custom by leaving a vast space for interpretation, as if to let fans and the public guess for themselves the meaning behind their reticence. This not only shows courage, but also confirms how personal and complex the transition to military service is for public figures like them. Interestingly, both of these uploads happened in a span of less than 48 hours. There is an assumption among industry analysts that their move is already strategically designed, not to arouse sympathy alone, but perhaps also to convey a collective message that the life of a public figure cannot be completely controlled by media narratives or public expectations. There is a fragile human side. There is an inner pressure that cannot always be revealed through interviews or grandiose stages. A number of observers called this moment a silent uprising. Not with harsh words, not with controversy, but simply with one or two sentences embedded in a seemingly simple post. It signals that they want to be known not just as an industry icon, but as a human being with a personal space to cherish. The response of ARMY and AROHA, the fan base of BTS and ASTRO, was split. Most wrote thousands of comments of support, prayers, and hope that they would return safe and sound. But there are also those who actually express concern about the psychological pressure they face. This led to a wider discussion in the public sphere. To what extent are Korean idols allowed to show vulnerability without being considered weak? Whatever the underlying motive behind Jin and Cha Eun-woo's post, what is clear is that its impact has touched millions of hearts. This is not just an emotional moment, but also a reflective one for both fans and the entertainment industry as a whole. The public is now not only looking forward to their return after military service, but also looking forward to how they will reshape the narrative of their careers after their return. Is this really a sincere message or a veiled strategy? Is the upload a call for honesty or part of a covert promotion scenario? The answer may never be known for sure. But one thing is undeniable. BTS's Jin and Cha Eun-woo have managed to make the public think more deeply, not just about them as artists, but also as human beings who are leaving the glamorous world for the sake of carrying out state duties. For those of you who want to keep abreast of the latest developments from Jin and Cha Eun-woo during the draft and after, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because their journey isn't over. It could even be just beginning. Looking at the intensity of emotions and the wave of public response to BTS's Jin and Cha Eun-woo's last post before their enlistment, we are now faced with a bigger and more complex question. Is this an authentic event that reflects the personal emotional state of the two great figures? Or is it a narrative construct that their management team strategically put together to maintain their existence and influence in a vacuum? This is where it is important for all of us, whether as observers, fans, or the general public, to put ourselves in a more reflective and skeptical position. Indeed, visually and emotionally, the upload seemed sincere and touching. But let's ask a deeper question. Why did the two of them choose almost the same moment to release a very symbolic personal message when they come from different agencies and do not have significant professional affiliations? Is this pure coincidence? Or is there greater coordination behind the scenes? Are these two messages actually standalone or part of a communication pattern already set up as an emotion campaign? It should be realized that the South Korean entertainment industry, especially the K-pop world, is known to be very structured and calculating. Every upload, every caption, even the time lag between one post and another is often designed with marketing and public psychology in mind. Then comes one important question. Are we looking at an actual reality, or just presented a reality that has been curated to create a certain emotional impact? We also want to remind that most of the information that is growing today comes from social media such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and various other online media that do not all undergo a rigorous journalistic verification process. A lot of viral content is speculative in nature, utilizing visual snippets and incomplete narratives to drive clicks, comments, and interactions. Then it is important for us to ask, to what extent can this information be trusted? Are we, as an audience, consuming facts, or are we living an artificial narrative? Try to reflect back the phrase of the genie. This is not the end. Don't forget me. And Eun-woo's statement. If this is the last time, I want to be quietly remembered. Were these two lines born out of their deepest personal feelings, or were they part of a script designed to make a deep impression on fans? Are we witnessing an honest expression, or are we being part of a very subtle marketing scenario? If it is true that this is a strategy, then its effectiveness should not be doubted. Fans' emotional reactions from tears to empathetic praise have extended the life cycle of this content on social media. But if these are authentic emotional outbursts, then we have to admit that they're sending a much deeper signal, that their status as idols isn't carefree, that behind the glamorous spotlight there's a real inner struggle. We must also question how media and algorithms come to play a role in magnifying this narrative. Why did this video go viral so quickly? Is it because of its emotional quality, or because the digital media system does prioritize content that touches the emotions of the masses? Does the virality of this content indeed come from the power of Jin and Eun-woo's message? Or is it because we as a digital society are too quick to amplify every visibly touching moment? We're not blaming anyone. But amid the flood of information and the accompanying flood of emotions, the critical role of the audience is becoming increasingly important. Let us not become the object of a narrative from which we do not fully understand its origin. We need to ask, what is not visible in this upload? What does the media not say? Who benefits when public emotions are herded in such a way? Remember, information without verification is fertile ground for hoaxes, manipulation, and sensationalism. So when you read this article, watch content on TikTok, or watch video footage on YouTube, Don't believe it right away. Hold on a second. Reflect. Test the truth. Compare the sources. And most importantly, ask critical questions that can unravel the truth from mere dramatic effect. In the end, the message from Jin and Cha Eun-woo has touched the public. But let's end with a question that must be pondered together. Is what we see today an expression of the soul, or simply a screen strategy? Do these emotions belong to them, or to narratives shaped for our consumption? And are we as spectators really ready to accept that not everything that looks emotional is reality? Thank you for reading with an open heart and mind. We invite you to subscribe and stay up to date on this issue with us. Be part of a public that is not only emotionally sensitive, but also intellectually resilient. Because in this increasingly complex world of information, those who survive are not only the ones who catch emotions the fastest, but also the ones who peel the truth the most.